county has a very bold agenda to reduce carbon emissions, and because we know that relates to everything else, the quality of life of people, the health, the air that we breathe. You know, it's essential to public health, but also to doing our part to protect our environmental treasures for future generations. And so to me, this is not a debatable issue. It's something that we've already put the pedal to the metal on in the county, and our residents agree. They follow the science and they know that this is a key to sustaining our environment long term.
I'm passionate about addressing the climate crisis and making sure that I personally do my part, but I also like saving money. We've been long-time EV owners and drivers for more than a decade, and what I always like to tell people is affordable EV options are available, right? I think when people think about EVs, they see the $50,000 or $60,000 Tesla, and that's certainly an option if you can afford it. But we own 2 EVs, both of which cost less than $15,000. So those affordable EV options are available. We've also been backyard composters for a long time, and I think when folks look at the amount of waste that they produce that goes out into their trash can on the curb every day, a significant amount of that is compostable material that you can throw in a bin in your backyard. It's very easy, very simple, and makes a big impact.
We were lucky enough to move into this house that already had a garden, so we were like, wow, we have to make use of it. And so right away we got to making sure that it was clean and that we're putting fresh soil in it. And then it came to thinking of what do we want here? What do we want to grow? My favorite part is absolutely the interaction with my family. It gives us something to do together. You know, it's great to teach my young daughters about gardening and making sure that they understand the process and that they have fun while they're doing it, and then seeing something from nothing to the table, right? So it's this idea that you're planting something, it's growing, you're cultivating it, and then next thing you know, you're having a meal. It's important for our generation, previous generations, but most importantly for the generations to come. We need to make sure that we're leaving the planet not only where we found it or how we found it, but actually in a better place. And we need to start working on those things like reducing our carbon emission and carbon footprint right away. There's so many different things that you can do. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it really makes a difference in your community.
I live less than 2 miles from the office here at the North County Government Center. So it really does give me an opportunity to walk or bike whenever I can. When I walk, it's an opportunity for me to take care of sometimes phone calls that I can do along the way. Biking gives me an opportunity to see things that I don't always see. For example, sometimes there's debris in the bike lanes that builds up over time. So when I try to take different routes to really see how safe it is, where there are places that might need extra attention for bikers to be safe in the future too. I think it's important for everybody to do their part in addressing climate change. There are some choices that we make, sometimes on a day-to-day basis, that cumulatively can make an impact on how much of an impact we have on the environment.
But I remember the first time we went to visit a farm outside of Argentina, outside of Buenos Aires, and I just fell in love with it. And I've always wanted to, I've worked on farms, I've done what's called woofing, willing workers on organic farms, and I love helping and being on farms, but I also love urban life. So that's why I love being able to have gardens and agriculture in an urban environment. I know I grew up loving gardens and farming and gardening and not being afraid of it, right? And starting with that, not being afraid of it and the worms and the bugs. And now she loves it. She loves being outdoors like me. She loves being out there, and we're learning together, which is the really exciting part. I think just showing that we all own it, right? The county's not gonna do it on our own. The businesses aren't gonna do it on their own. It really takes all of us. And for me, it's about the next generation, right? And so things that maybe I learned and taught my parents, I hope my daughter will learn and then teach me and the next generation.
No doubt my favorite thing is just breathing the air and looking around and knowing that I'm exercising, doing good while doing well. I'm helping my body, I'm doing good for the environment, and also helping myself be more physically fit. It's not only riding to my office, but sometimes I have an event that's at a school or right down the road or just a few miles over. Get some good exercise. At the same time, I can show people that yes, you can ride your bike in the community and it's safe and it's friendly and fun. What we do and how we represent that to others, in my mind, always matters. We got to practice what we preach. And that's what I try to always do, is I recognize that global warming is a real thing. I recognize that every one of us can do a little bit something more to reduce that impact. And for me to ride my bike on those days that I can is one more small contribution I can make.
I like to recycle my glass because it's infinitely recyclable. I bring it to the purple can, and then it gets recycled into new glass, and then the next product I buy at the grocery store in glass, I bring it to the purple can and it gets recycled. We also recycle in our office. We recycle our paper, if we have plastic. It is really important for all of us to join together to help reduce our carbon footprint. And we have many programs in Fairfax County that will help us do that.
It's important as a leader in a government to try and do my part. So whether it's driving a hybrid vehicle or a plug-in hybrid and making those investments for my family, whether it's trying to reduce single-use plastics. I got this from Fairfax Water, and it says Fairfax Water customers can fill this bottle with 20 ounces of water every single day for 10 years for the same cost as buying a 20-ounce $1.50 bottle of water. So reducing your plastic usage. Every little bit counts, and that's what we're trying to do in my family and hopefully in your family as well.
So I enjoy coming to the farmer's market because I get to pick my own kind of fresh produce, and I'll say I'm a big fan of watermelons, I like strawberries, melons are also on the list, and then the specialty items that the vendors here make. It's important that we come out to farmers markets to support our local farmers who are providing produce that we don't have to have transported long distances. We use recyclable bags like the one I have in my hand here today, as opposed to having that packaged material that you see in the supermarket and having all that plastic. Yeah, I think I'm like everybody else. I have a responsibility to make this place better. So just everything that we can do to protect the environment, to reduce climate change is going to be a positive for everyone.
In Fairfax County, our strategic plan and our One Fairfax racial and social equity policies guide everything that we do. So all of our work takes place with that lens layered on top. And when it comes to reducing our emissions and addressing the climate crisis, we know that equity emphasis areas, lower income communities, communities of color, are most at risk for the negative impacts of climate change. Everybody can do their part. Whatever you can afford and makes sense for you and your family, I urge folks to take that first step. If you do that, you'll probably be excited and encouraged to keep going forward with your energy efficiency and emissions reductions work.